12 hours left. Fire falls from space. A dad, a mom, and their son get a secret alert to run.
It's a presidential alert.
But only the chosen can enter the last safe place. Will this family survive, or will they die? Let's see if they beat the clock or lose each other on the way. At a half-finished skyscraper, construction noise fills the air, while site manager John Garrity argues about delays. Then he drives away with a heavy heart and hears a radio host talk about a new comet called Clark, a rare interstellar visitor that scientists say will pass close to Earth but is harmless. He turns into a quiet suburb, pauses at the front door, and steps inside to find his wife, Allison, on the treadmill, polite but distant. They make small talk about their son Nathan's birthday, and the words are fine, but the space between them is not. Nathan rushes in, excited to see his dad, shows John a drawing of the comet, and for a moment the house feels warm again, until the reminder comes that Nathan has diabetes and needs his insulin. That night, they watch the news together as anchors describe Clark and the fragments trailing behind it, still calling it safe. And later, John quietly moves his things into the guest room, trying to fix what is broken without making a scene. Morning brings more comet updates, a hint that tiny fragments might fall but shouldn't cause harm. And life keeps moving as John cleans the grill for Nathan's party, while Allison asks him to pick up a few things. He takes Nathan to the store, where people stop shopping and look up because Clark is visible in daylight like a bright scar across the sky. John's phone suddenly blasts with a presidential alert and an automated call that says he, Allison, and Nathan have been selected for emergency shelter relocation and must report now, only their household, no one else. No one around them gets the same alert, and fear begins to drip into his thoughts. He drives home fast, passing military trucks and cargo planes heading the other way. And when he arrives, their guests are already there, cheerful and unaware. He pulls Allison aside to ask if she got the alert. She thinks it's a test, but the look in his eyes says it isn't. In the living room, the TV shows a live countdown for a small fragment that should splash down in the Atlantic. The kids shout along. 3, 2, 1, and then nothing happens. Silence hangs for one breath. Birds tear across the sky, and a shockwave slams into the neighborhood, rattling windows and throwing people to the floor. The newscaster's voice shakes as he says the fragment missed the ocean and struck Florida.
The fragment, it has hit the state of Florida, Central Florida.
And a city is gone. Satellite images show fire on the map, and the room finally understands this is real. John's phone buzzes again, and this time the message appears on the TV for everyone to see. His family has access to a military flight. They must bring one bag each, and no one else can go with them. Panic tightens the room as friends realize they are not on the list. John and Allison pack fast, grabbing insulin, water, and papers, while the radio reports more impacts and the sky burning over other places. As they pull out, neighbors cry and beg for help. One shouts that a huge fragment, a planet killer, will hit in 2 days.
There's a shit ton of fragments on that thing. They're saying that one of them is a planet killer.
Another neighbor begs John to take her daughter.
You can take Allie, please!
He wants to, but the rules are clear, and even if he tried, she would be turned away at the gate. They drive through a city already breaking, with alarms and smoke and people looting. The highway is a wall of cars, so John ducks onto side roads and keeps moving while the radio begins to use the worst words anyone can hear. Extinction level event. At the airbase, crowds press against the fence and plead while soldiers hold the line. John shows his code and they are waved through. Then a fast stream of orders pushes them toward check-in, wristbands, and a table where they must cut their things to a single bag. John checks their bag and feels his stomach drop because Nathan's insulin is missing. It's still in the car. He tells Allison he will run back.
I'm gonna go get it.
Wait, what?
What, am I just gonna leave his insulin? I have the wristband.
And she nods, then moves Nathan toward the flight line. She asks a guard if John can still board with them when he returns because their son needs his medicine. And when the guard asks what condition Nathan has, she answers honestly. The guard calls a superior, and the answer comes like a door slamming. No one with a chronic illness is allowed on the flight. Allison pleads, but they escort her and Nathan out of the base. John runs back with the insulin, calls for Allison, and can't find her in the noise. He climbs onto a plane and tries to call her again. A passenger sees the insulin and says his own family was denied for the same reason, and John understands what happened. He demands to get off, but before he can, the base is overrun by civilians, shots echo, fuel pools under a plane, and a fireball rolls across the runway. John dives for cover as explosions rip down the line. When the smoke clears, he finds a note in their car. Going to Dad's. Lexington Nathan is running low. He grips the paper and moves. On the road, Allison sees Nathan's levels drop and ducks into a damaged pharmacy, searches the wrecked shelves for insulin, and then pulls him out the back when men with guns charge the front. A couple stops and offers a ride north, and at first they seem kind, but their eyes keep falling on her wristband, and soon the questions turn sharp. The car jerks to a stop. They rip the band from her arm, shove her onto the road, and drive off with Nathan. At a checkpoint ahead, soldiers check wristbands while Nathan tells them the truth. The kidnappers are taken away, and Nathan is moved to a FEMA camp across the road, where nurses give him a new insulin pump and keep him safe. Allison catches a ride in the same direction and runs the last block, racing through tents until a nurse takes her to Nathan. Tears come, but also steady breath, and the staff promise a bus toward her father's town. John tries to call again and fails, then climbs into a supply truck with survivors. A young man named Colin says small planes in Canada are taking people to bunkers in Greenland and tells John to find his family and head there. Another man stares at John's wristband and demands it. The truck lurches, and a fight erupts in the back that throws everyone around. The driver loses control and the truck flips. John crawls out, bleeding and shaking. Colin does not move, and the man who attacked him lies still. John keeps walking with the note in his hand, ducks into an empty house for water and food, and watches a report that says the main impact will come in less than a day, likely in Western Europe. He finds car keys on a hook and drives to his father-in-law's place. Dale opens the door with a stiff look and old anger in his eyes, but there is no time to argue. They sit quiet until the phone rings. Allison calls from a gas station nearby, and John and Dale go to meet them. In the parking lot, the family finally comes back together, and for a moment, they just hold on. Nathan is tired, but the new pump is working. Back at Dale's house, the sky glows red, and the news says the big impact will throw shockwaves and fire across the world and kill most life. John shares what he heard about flights in Canada and bunkers in Greenland, and Allison looks at Nathan and nods, because it is their only chance. They pack blankets, water, a map, and a photo. Dale fills the tank, brings warm coats, and decides to stay with his farm and his horse. He hands John the keys and says, "Get them there." A rumble runs under the house. A flash lights the horizon, the windows buzz, and there is no more time to talk. They hug Dale and drive north. The night road is crowded, and the radio warns about falling fire. Then the warning becomes real as the sky turns red and sparks crash down. John dives under a concrete bridge, and the family crouches with others while cars burn and people run. A man screams from a burning car, and John runs out, yanks the door, pulls him free, and stumbles back with burning hands. When the sky quiets, they move again, reach the border lights of Canada, and pass through because guards are overwhelmed. The radio says the largest fragment will hit Western Europe soon, and that more than 3/4 of life may be lost.
This will kill more than 75% of all plant and animal life.
They hold hands while they cross snowy fields to a small airstrip where a small plane is rolling. John blocks the runway. The pilot jumps out and says the plane is full. Allison points to Nathan and begs, and people inside make space, shifting bags and seats. They climb aboard, and the plane rises into a gray sky, and for a short minute there is peace. As Greenland appears, the ocean flashes and a shock wave hits the plane. Both engines die. The pilot glides them toward a glacier, and the landing is hard, with metal scraping and the nose breaking in the ice. People cry and call out. John checks the cockpit and cannot save the pilots, then looks out and sees a military plane land near a valley and a dark cut in the rock. He gathers the others and leads them across the ice, and a soldier waves and brings them onto a truck that rattles into a tunnel. Inside the bunker entrance, the air is warm and bright. People in uniform move fast, radios crackle, a woman scans wristbands, and a heavy door opens onto a deep chamber filled with families. The last door begins to close, and the alarm hum is steady like a slow heartbeat. John pulls Allison and Nathan close and says, "I'm here."
You hear me? Yes. We're always gonna be together.
And the floor shakes as the world above changes. He thinks of a backyard and birthday candles, and a small hand in his, and he holds on. Then everything is quiet. Time passes in lines and whispers. 9 months later, a voice reports that dust has settled and the air is clear. The doors grind open, cold light spills in, and they climb out to see a changed land with dark soil, new lakes, torn hills, and a blue sky. 2 birds circle overhead. John laughs, Allison cries, and Nathan points and smiles. Radios wake up in other places, and voices answer from around the world. The planet is hurt, but it survived, and so did they. Holding hands, they begin to walk into their new day. That was the recap of Movie Greenland 2020. Subscribe to Thrillix now. If you want the best recaps of your favorite movies or series, you must subscribe. We drop fast, gripping, easy to watch stories all the time. So hit the subscribe button first. Comment your favorite movie or show below. We read every comment and will make a recap from your suggestion, so don't forget to comment. If you want to watch another thrilling video recap like this, click the video on the screen and I'll see you there.